Hey YouTube, it's Jeff at Darkmoon Metals. In today's video, I'm touching base on sandblasting again. Now, the reason I'm filming this video is because I have a problem that I'm sure many other people who has a sandblasting cabinet may run into. I have a piece that is just way too big to fit in the cabinet. So, what do I do? Well, I'm going to take you through step by step and give you an idea of some of the gear changes that we need to make. The first thing I'm going to throw on, even though it's kind of hot outside, is a hooded sweatshirt. That'll protect my skin from any ricochets or particles bouncing back at me. Same with the gloves. You definitely want to protect your hands. Your hands are more than likely going to be the closest part of your body towards the piece you're sandblasting. And last but not least is a sandblasting helmet. Now this one is a little bit overkill. It actually has a hard hat inside, but you can see that it has an acrylic lens protected by a fine mesh so it doesn't get scratched up. Now my bench, what I'm actually going to be sandblasting through is a metal grate. Now, you can choose to use a solid work surface if you want, but I've learned from experience that if you're going to sandblast outdoors, you want to have a surface that the sand particles can go through. The less stuff you have bouncing back at you, the better. Now, to help film the video today, I'm not using a regular tripod. I actually have an old baker's rack set up here with a piece of plywood going through one of the shelves. And this is a piece of, looks about just a hair over 1/4 inch polycarbonate. And my camera is going to be living behind that for doing the sandblasting filming itself. It should provide more than adequate protection for the camera. So let's get to it. For today's video, I'm simply going to sandblast a little bit of a cast iron pan. What I do need to sandblast that's bigger than what will fit in my cabinet is actually something that's being done for a client. And I don't have permission to put anything from her online. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to violate her privacy or things that she may want to keep confidential, because she does have her own business and she is a vendor and this is a product that she sells. So I'm going to just simply demonstrate this using a cast iron pot. Now this gun is actually the same gun that came with the cabinet sandblaster. There's no reason why you can't pull it out and use it outside. You just need to have a new supply for your sand, and mine is simply put in a 5-gallon pail. Now, the one downside to sandblasting outside, as I may have mentioned in the first sandblasting video, is once this sand gets thrown out of the gun, you're done. You can't get that sand back. It's going to wind up in your yard somewhere. That's one of the big features of having a cabinet. That's one of the biggest benefits, is you don't have to keep on buying sand. Now, granted, for a 50-pound bag of sand, I can get them for about $7 at Tractor Supply, but that, for me, means taking an hour-and-a-half car ride upstate Connecticut, because where I live in the state, we have a bunch of people around here who aren't really that hands-on, and you just can't get access to that kind of stuff down here in Fairfield County. Another thing about sandblasting, it is a very dusty process. I've got dust on my camera lens, I got dust everywhere. But as you can see, it does a really good job, and that's why people tolerate that sort of thing. And there is, under here, get my shadow out of the way, but you can see just all the stuff that collects on the mask. You don't want to be breathing this stuff in. On sandblasting cabinets, you have the option of hooking a vacuum, like a shop vac, to it to keep the dust down. Now this sand just coming out of the cabinet is pretty dusty because we've been using it for about a month. So there's a lot of particulate matter in here, a lot more dust than usual. But even so, when you're outside, it would help to wear some kind of a dust mask, or, you know, throw a bandana over your face or something. And you can also wear one of the bandanas or the do-rags, just soak it in water, and you can put it on under this. Inside here, it's a regular... See if I can get a good shot of that. It's a regular plastic hard hat. They make these sandblasters helmets, so they're OSHA certified. They meet all the recommendations for hard hats, safety glasses, everything rolled into one, but it's got poor ventilation, and wearing a do-rag with a little bit of moisture in it will help. You're going to have to wash it every night because dust will still get in here even with the hood and drawstring closed, but it's just one of those things that will make you a lot more comfortable, especially if you're working out in the sun. Now, speaking of the heat, I decided to come stand in the shade a little bit, get that sweatshirt off, let the breeze kind of hit me a little. In the summer months, you want to be very, very careful with things like heat exhaustion, heat stroke. One can lead to the other very quickly. Biggest point I can make is to stay hydrated. Make sure that you keep cool. If you're sandblasting in the hot sun, don't do it for any more than 10 minutes. Do a little bit, stop, take a break. It'll be there when you get back. And we just want to make sure that everyone stays safe, they stay comfortable, and they can continue on doing what they love to do, whether it's welding, sandblasting, fabrication, or anything else. We just want to make sure that everybody has a good day, and they get their projects done, and they can start a new one tomorrow. Now, that being said, I'm going to wrap up a video here and get back to some of the work I have in the shop. So until the next video, this is Jeff at Darkmoon Metals. I'll see you again soon.